Let's uncover the real story of Sparta. 300! You know the pop culture legend, right? The fearless, upper-class warriors making a final stand against absolutely impossible odds. But what if I told you almost everything you've been taught about history's most notorious warrior state is a complete lie? Stick around because this is going to blow your mind. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The Ultimate Warrior Myth.
So the traditional myth goes a little something like this. Invading Dorian warriors swept right into the Eurotas River Valley and built this rigid, unyielding military society totally from scratch. For centuries, we've basically viewed them purely as bloodthirsty conquerors. But the Earth has actually been hiding a massive secret. Section 2. A shocking ancient discovery. At an excavation site called Agios Vasileios, researchers recently uncovered something that literally rewrites history. We're talking a massive palace complex, elaborate, highly detailed frescoes, bronze swords. They even found administrative records written in Linear B, which is the oldest written form of Greek. This proves Sparta didn't just emerge from a bunch of cave-dwelling brutes. They actually evolved from a highly cultured, literate society. Turning into a warrior state, that was a choice, not their origin story. Section 3. Forging the War Machine. To really understand Sparta's terrifying rise to power, you have to look at their ultimate rival, Athens. Athens was a direct democracy with absolutely unmatched naval dominance. Sparta was the polar opposite. They were a rigid oligarchy with inherited, elite citizenship based purely on bloodlines, commanding a massive land-based army. But here is the dark twist. Funding that elite, highly exclusive lifestyle required some truly unthinkable cruelty. Enter the Helots. During the 7th century BC wars, the Spartans essentially enslaved their own neighbors, the Messenians, completely reducing them to a semi-slave status. The entire Spartan military machine was funded entirely on the backs of these Helots. The Spartans literally built a utopia for themselves by creating a living nightmare for the people right next door. And the raw math of this society is just terrifying. The elite Spartan warriors, the Spartiates, they made up just 10% of the population. The subjugated Helots, 90%. Those fearless, obedient warriors were actually a highly paranoid minority sitting on a massive demographic time bomb. And eventually, that fuse was lit. 464 BC. Total chaos hits. A devastating earthquake strikes Sparta, killing thousands. And right in the middle of the rubble, the Helots see their chance, and they launch a massive, violent revolt. It gets so bad that Sparta actually has to beg Athens for help. But get this, when the Athenian troops finally arrive, the Spartans are so intensely paranoid that the Athenians might switch sides and help the Helots that they completely insult the Athenians and send them packing. This huge snub permanently poisoned their relationship and set the stage for all-out war. Section 4. Conquering the Greek world. So how exactly does a land-based army completely defeat a massive naval empire in the Peloponnesian War? First off, they survive years of brutal Athenian blockades. But here is the shocking twist. The Spartans, supposedly the pure champions of the Greek world, took money from their sworn enemies, the Persians. Persian gold funded a massive new Spartan fleet. Combined with some pretty huge tactical errors by Athenian leaders, Sparta forces Athens into an unconditional surrender in 404 BC. Welcome to the Spartan hegemony. From 404 to 371 BC, Sparta commanded unrivaled, absolute dominance over the entire Greek world. They tore down Athenian democratic institutions, they installed oligarchies, and they were at the absolute untouchable peak of their power. But wait, if you look really closely beneath the surface, they were already rotting from the inside out. Section 5. The secret that destroyed Sparta. Check this out. Back in the 7th century BC, Spartan wealth was spread pretty evenly, which supported an elite backbone of about 9,000 soldiers known as equals. Fast forward to the 3rd century BC, that wealth had become massively concentrated into the hands of just the top 100 families, and the number of equals, it plummeted to just 700 men. That is less than a tenth of their former glory. And this wasn't just from battle casualties. As Aristotle actually observed at the time, the Spartan citizen population was collapsing at a relentless rate of 50% every 50 years. Let that sink in for a second. Enemy swords weren't killing the Spartan state. Their own obsessive elite exclusivity was bleeding them completely dry. Here is the most incredible self-inflicted wound. To actually be a Spartan citizen and serve in the army, you had to contribute food to the military mess halls straight from your own land. But when new laws were passed allowing citizens to give away or sell their plots, the wealth shifted wildly. Poorer Spartans lost their land, and because of that, automatically lost their citizenship. Think about that. A simple legal loophole literally dismantled history's greatest military. With a completely hollowed-out army, their supremacy was permanently broken in 371 BC after a decisive defeat to Thebes at the Battle of Electra. By 146 BC, they were absorbed by Roman rule. And finally, in 396 AD, the city was sacked by Alaric and just abandoned to the dust. But before they disappeared completely, there is one final, totally mind-blowing historical fact. Under Roman rule, this once feared city essentially became a theme park. Literally, a tourist attraction for the wealthy Roman elite who would travel there to safely observe exotic Spartan customs. The ultimate, terrifying warriors of the ancient world were reduced to a mere sideshow for Roman vacationers. It's almost hard to believe. Which leaves us with one absolutely stunning question to think about. Did Sparta's intense obsession with genetic purity and elitism ultimately engineer their own doom? They built a machine completely designed to be unbreakable from the outside, but they rigged it with a demographic time bomb right on the inside. Thanks for diving into this explainer with us. Stay curious, and we'll catch you in the next one.